brownfield. Reminds me of a Chesterfield, like a sofa.
A brownfoot?
Brownfield. Okay, brown, I think of trees.
Oh, brownfield. Oh, that's what I heard. No, I have never heard of that.
Brownfield. I have not ever heard of a brownfield. Either it's just been freshly, filled with manure.
Maybe it's got to do with some sort of environmental thing.
Or two, maybe that it's been burnt down, and I guess that'd be like a charred field. But
there's been a drought or toxic chemicals on a field. That's my best guess.
A brownfield site is an underutilized property. It can be found in both rural and urban settings.
I refer to it really just as contaminated lands.
May or may not be contaminated.
And there's an opportunity in these communities to, again, redevelop these lands for an improved use.
And it's time to repurpose them and bring them back into the urban environment.
For me, it's a site that nobody else wants to touch, and I have a client who's willing to take a look at it and sees the opportunity versus all the risks.
It's an important piece of a community's sustainable community initiative.
I guess the most challenging part for us is just managing all the stakeholder expectations.
It's what I call fear of flying, the fear of the process.
Fear. It's fear of the unknown. They should always be afraid. I think when the risks are explained and when those uncertainties are addressed, then certainly that dissipates the fear.
Sites that we look at, because of their environmental issues, have environmental liability concerns.
No, I think there's an overreaction, I think, in many cases to the identification of contamination.
Science has told us what levels of contamination can stay on a site, and they are safe. That science has changed over the years.
With the new standards in Ontario, if you were to say to somebody your land's contaminated, it exceeds the background concentrations, I think they might be surprised to hear that, particularly if it's a residential area. But if you ask somebody downtown, they wouldn't say, I live in a brownfield, but chances are they do.
I trust that people are doing the right thing in order for people to live there. So
I believe they know more than I do, and that there's so many people doing it that someone's got to figure out someone's wrong.
Science, like physics or something like that, I don't know enough about, so I would probably be naive and say, yeah, I'll trust it.
We've moved beyond just solving, getting rid of the contamination, and we're focused on trying to build really great places to live, work, and play.
Yes, it may be contaminated, but let's just turn it into something exciting for the community. Let's move forward. Let's look for those innovative approaches.
Farmlands and other green spaces, we have really no choice but to take some of these older and utilized sites and revitalize them for good use.
We are all getting much more creative in the way in which we approach these problems.
Interim uses, above ground community gardens, some type of renewable energy source being used there, solar panels, wind turbines.
We do change the way we live. If we intensify next to transit nodes and get out of our cars, take public transit, and redevelop these sites that are available.
What you can end up with, I think, is something that you can be genuinely proud of and that people will actually like to live in.
Well, sites like these are great, keep the culture going.
Yeah, why not? I would take the chance.
But I definitely would live near a brownfield, now that I know what it is. Not my first two guesses, but this type of brownfield, yes, I would live.